Hey gang, Anthony Fontana here, coming at you from our home here on Long Island. I want to welcome you to my live tonight, and we're going to get into a couple of things. I'm pretty excited, so if you're tuning into this particular live, or if you're seeing it as a replay later, that's awesome. I love that. That's terrific. I'm actually on two different sites right now. I'm on LinkedIn over here, and I'm on Facebook over here, so I want to try to get into something that's extremely important. We talked about this last week when I was traveling. There's 6 extremely high performance habits that high performers have that give them that edge, that ability to exceed expectations consistently long term. The first and foremost of these, and we're going to cover this today, and tomorrow we're going to go into the how to cover this particular one, is creating and finding clarity. I think clarity, it's extremely important because it falls to who you are and what you want out of life. Hi, Christine. How are you? Hey, Kerry. There's a lot of people that I know that are successful, but they're on a spinning wheel. They're not exactly sure that what they're doing is where they want to be. They're working so hard. They're working as smart as they can. They set their goals. They write everything down. They go out there. They perform well. They're highly regarded in industry, whatever that industry is. They do very well in terms of their peers. Their peers look at them as being very successful, but they look at themselves a little differently. They look at themselves as, wow, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this what I really want in my life? They're just not sure. So there's an innate unhappiness that develops, and that usually affects their performance long term. But in the interim, it always appears to everybody else that they're doing absolutely fantastic. They're excited about their life. They're happy. They're goal-setting, oriented, crazy people, and people look up to them. Their employees, their coworkers, their bosses all look to them for the solutions to all kinds of challenges that their company or their situation might be involved with. But they themselves have some introspection that's not exactly positive. So they're looking at themselves a little differently than the rest of the world is looking at them. And I call it like being on a hamster wheel. They're just not sure. They're not sure of who they are, they're not sure of what they want, and they're definitely not sure of what they're doing, if that's what they want to be doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years. They lack clarity. Lacking clarity can create a poison in one's system. And I have some notes here that I'm going to be going through, but they might think about things like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is it worth it? Is this where I want to be in my life now? They don't really know where they want to be in 10, 15, 20 years. Now again, they're goal-oriented, they might have written it down, but they're starting to back up a little bit. Their steam is starting to slow down. They're starting to unravel, and the unhappiness starts to become an innate part of their personality, and their performance definitely suffers. They are wondering, did they climb the wrong mountain? They may have climbed a whole bunch of mountains. A lot of summits were carried, right? But then they're looking at it thinking, geez, maybe I went up the wrong ones. They just don't know. We all go through this. Every one of us go through this. And if you're not going through this, I'm telling you right now, then, I don't know. You're lying to yourself, because I go through it. Everyone does. There's always going to be a plateau that you're going to hit like a wall. And having clarity is going to get you through that. It's not a trait that you have. You're not born with clarity. It's a trait that you have to develop. Just like a power plant doesn't have energy, it transforms energy. It takes what's already there and it transforms it into usable power. You create your own reality. That's a fact. There's no question about that. And you create that reality with your thoughts and how your mind can visualize and envision what it is you want in life. We start lacking that vision when we start falling short of where we expect it to be. We start looking back and start thinking, wow, I've done all this, I've accomplished all this, but wow, man, did I climb on the wrong horse? It's something that people go through everywhere. And this particular chapter tonight is going to give us a little idea of how we can get out of this slump. Tomorrow we're going to go through the actual process of the step-by-step of what you can do, the few things that you can do to generate that clarity. And I think it's going to be an important night, so tune in tomorrow night. Couple of notes here. You ask yourself questions. How do you develop clarity in life? You do that by asking yourself questions. Questions like, what do I value? What are the things that I appreciate in life? What are the things that I see myself doing in the future? What do I really love? What do I value in terms of my personality, in the personality of the people that I love and the people that are around me? What are the good things that I see? What are my strengths and weaknesses? See, if you don't know what your own strengths are and what your own weaknesses are, how in God's name can you fix or develop those strengths or eliminate those weaknesses? Because if you don't know what they are, if you haven't thought about it, well, how are you going to figure it out? A great way to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are is ask somebody who loves you, what's good about me? What's not so good? And let them speak to you about that. Get a few opinions. And yeah, I understand opinions like noses, but sometimes the people that love us the most and that are closest to us can give us the most valuable information about ourselves, and then we can learn from that information. So understanding who I am. What are my goals? Look, if you don't have any goals, you have nothing. A lot of people have goals, and a lot of people start out on another few weeks. We're going to be in January 1st, the New Year's goals. People set them, and then by January 2nd, they're gone. Having stretch goals is very, very important. Having goals that if you push towards them, your vision is going to expand more and more and more. You have to have goals, but you have to know why you have those goals. You have to figure out who you are and what your goals are going to be. You have to stretch a lot. I think it's critical to stretch. This is what high performers tend to do. They tend to be future focused. They focus on 4 areas in their life that they expect and visualize, and they just fundamentally know that this is what they want, and they work toward that. First and foremost, they know who they want to be. The person that they are right now is not who they want to be. Maybe it's who they want to be at this moment, but they visualize who they want to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. They picture it like it's real, like it's a reality. They also know that that whole strength and weakness thing comes into play. And they fundamentally understand that there are going to be things that they need to change, need to fix, and need to develop in order to be that future person. You see, if you can picture yourself 10 years out, the person you want to be, and the person that you are right now is obviously not that person yet, right? You're not there yet. You can figure out pretty easily where your weaknesses are and what you need to develop to be that person. But knowing who that person is going to be, you can strive to be that person now. You can start working toward that now and understanding that you're going to get there no matter what. It's a knowing. It's not a belief. It's not a wish. It's a knowing. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to work on that person today. I'm going to strive today to do the very best that I can, be the very best that I can be. So that's an important fact right there. What skills do they need to develop between now and then? They fundamentally understand that they're not perfect. None of us are. They understand that they need to develop specific skills in order to become that person. In order to become and work into the life that they're expecting to have, they need to make some skill developments. They have no choice. They define and know how to help others grow. People that are very high achievers don't focus on themselves. They focus on other people. They fundamentally believe that they're good. They fundamentally know other people are good, and their whole focus on life is improving other people's lives. I forget who said it. It was probably maybe Napoleon Hill or maybe Dale Carnegie said, for the most part, help someone achieve what they want, and you'll achieve everything that you want. I don't know if I'm paraphrasing that. If one of my buddies can look that up for me, I'd appreciate that. Hi, Katie. How are you? Thank you for coming on this. You were just on Facebook with me. So defining and knowing how to help others grow. Knowing how to grab someone else's hand and pulling them forward towards you. I think that's critical. And number 4, they know how they will feel in the future. When they have the life that they're expecting to have, they know what that feeling is going to be. We've talked about this on so many videos that the feeling is key. The emotional attachment that you put on a goal, on an image, on a movie playing in your mind, that's what you're going to get. So if you can visualize something, well, that's easy to do, but if you can emotionally attach yourself to that vision, that's mastery. That's the key to succeed. That's 4 things that you need to do. Who you want to be, what skills you need, define how you're going to help others grow, and finally, how you'll feel about that. So there's 4 things that we call them envisioning the future 4, the 4 S's. 1 is self, knowing your future self. knowing exactly how it's going to be and how you see yourself in the future. The social skills that you need, the social vision that you have. What does that mean? You have